Hello, everybody. I think this is the last stream we're going to be having before Christmas. So welcome to Fire Them Cannons, episode 25, which, by the way, is the 25th day of December is Christmas. It's also 1/4 of the way to 100 episodes on Fire Them Cannons. So just got to big up to episode 25. And it's become now, we're doing this now every week, our weekly pregame show. And so Arsenal will be playing Everton tonight for those watching in the UK at 8 o'clock p.m. from the Hill Dickinson Stadium, not Goodison Park. I've heard so many people say this week, Goodison Park, you know, it's going to be a tough game at Goodison Park. I'm like, Goodison Park doesn't exist, buddy. But yeah, so Arsenal against Everton is coming up today. So it's our weekly pregame show. Last week we had Seb here, and this week we're going to be try to get a new panelists every week to join me and Cal for these pregame show. This week got a special guest, debutante on Fire Them Cannons. And he was actually in the comment section last week. He's actually in the comment section again now. I just see him. But now he's here live. I love to put a face to the name. This is Jake from Cup Chasers. So welcome to the show. But first of all, just kind of catch up with Cal for a second, and then he'll bring you in.
Sounds
How's
good.
it going, bud?
Yep, it's going good. It's going good. Excited for the game. It's a must-win. Like all games are a must-win these days. And yeah, we're pretty excited to have Jake on here. And Jake's been commenting, and it's pretty nice to see the community starting to grow a bit. It's starting to get a little bit more viewers. And we just want you guys to, leave a comment, be part of the conversation. We're gonna add you guys to the conversation. And if you want to come on, please message us as well. Jake messaged us. He sent us an email. He said he wanted to come on, and yeah, he's on right now and being part of the community. So that's really nice to see. We really want you guys to be involved. And please remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And we have our individual channels on the top left and right, or bottom left and right. If you scan that QR code as well. Yeah. So big ups.
Yeah, big ups, Jake. And we want to ask, I want to start doing this from now on. You're the first one actually going to do this because it's a shame on us that we haven't done this for Seb last week, but we're going to do it for you. And that's kind of like your backstory on how you became a Gooner. Like you obviously live in the US, right? So like, where did your Arsenal fandom come from? Like, how did you fall in love with this football club? How long have you supported the football club? Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Jake, that's your opening question, my friend.
Hey, thanks so much for the welcome, guys. Certainly glad to be here. Make sure you guys are liking this the stream, guys. Make sure we're commenting down in the chat, of course, every time. Thanks for being here. And yeah, awesome welcome. I'm pretty typical, maybe not because I'm an American, but pretty typical as far as an Arsenal fan. When I was very, very young, the 1998 World Cup was broadcasted to my TV, and my mom ended up taping some of them. And so I've rewatched some of the France games from that World Cup over and over and over and over again. And when a certain Thierry Henry was traded to Arsenal, I liked the red, and so I chose the team. But as you know, it took a long time from then for NBC to buy the rights to broadcast the Premier League over here in America. So for a long time, I was watching the lunchtime kickoff, and that was it each weekend, because ESPN2 would broadcast the 7:30 a.m. game and then wouldn't play any of the other Premier League games. And so I was having to stream them early days. But yeah, I mean, ever since I got to watch it game to game to game, so it's been about 10 years now that I've been doing that. I've been following real close. Different times it's been tough, of course, more recently for sure. But, over the years, watching this team has definitely been a part of who I am. It's been a part of things I've studied as I tried to, as I was in the game myself. I played for a while over here, and it's been a wild ride, and we're hoping we can finally see it all the way to the top.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm 100%. Right there with you. I'm right there with you.
The fairy tale has to end with us winning something.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's not a fairy tale.
You're the first. Me and Cal have been talking about this for ages. Like, we want to get an understanding of like what drew everyone to this football club. We've told each other our own stories and stuff in the backstage, but we've the first time like for I don't know some reason that's what we want to do, and we always freaking forget. Today I'm like, no, I'm not going to forget. I'm putting it in the agenda. I'm going to ask Jake. So I love the answer. Obviously, yeah. Again, yeah. Thierry Henry would be a massive draw. I reckon there is a whole generation of Arsenal fans who follow the club because of Thierry. He was absolutely a legend.
You can tell.
Premier League GOAT. So it's kind of like the Chicago Bulls with Jordan. You know what I mean? Like I think there are a lot of Bulls fans now because of Jordan. I feel like it's the same thing. By the way, guys, before we continue, we're going to go on to our next topic. Yeah, we put it in the poll for everyone to answer because it's the big question on everybody's lips. It was on the lips of Harry Symeou when he asked this question to Mikel Arteta, good friend of mine, and I'm like, Harry, why are you asking asking him this damn question? But he asked him like, so who would you rather have start up front? Do you think Merino suits up front, or GYOKERES, or Jesus? I think Arteta gave the correct answer here. But I want to ask the community, guys, who today against Everton do you think should start up front for Arsenal? Should it be Victor GYOKERES? Should it be Mikel Merino? Or should it be Gabriel Jesus? Cal tells everybody there's only one answer. What's that answer to you, my friend?
Victor GYOKERES. That's the answer. That's the only answer. Because
I'm guessing Jake agrees.
Agrees.
That makes it 3-3. All of us are big Victor GYOKERES guys here. And by the way, before we get in as well, Cal flash it up on the screen. David, big up David, good friend, very, very good friend of mine. He's quite a top man. He writes, although he hates the Arsenal because he's a big Man United fan. He goes, legends in the game. Merry Christmas, crew, and hope you are all well. Let's all play for one thing this Christmas: Arsenal to lose. I'm like, okay, I think you're outvoted there, mate.
I would say Merry Christmas back, but
yeah, I know. David playing the part of the Grinch on today's podcast is David,
pretty much.
And Cal goes big up to David. No, but honestly, David is one of me and Cal's really close friends in the group. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Like, he's
literally
honest. Been on this stream in the comment section every single stream since
every single stream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Every single stream.
Everyone, all 25.
Yeah, David's an absolute legend.
When we had zero people in our thing. David was in the live chat.
And even when we before we live stream and we just uploaded the pod pre-record, he would comment in the post recording. So he's a great guy. And just to elaborate, just to get back to the topic, just to elaborate on why I say Victor GYOKERES is we bought a striker and we need to play him into form. It's really that simple. Maybe if he didn't get injured and we were playing him this entire time, every single game, and it wasn't working, I would probably be like, okay, maybe we need to try something else. Maybe he needs a break. But I think the fact that he was getting into form, he got injured, and he's just come back. He's come back for a couple of weeks now. I think because of that break, he deserves a run of games, a proper run of games where he starts as well, because he's only started one or two games since he's been back.
Two.
Twice.
Yeah. Bruges and Wolves.
Yeah. So I want him to to start. So and and this is the big thing for me with Victor GYOKERES. I don't think we win the league if we just sacrifice him. I think if we decide to just continue doing what we're doing and we try to use the same strategies that we used before that didn't work, I don't think it works. I think we were crying out as a football club and as a fan base for a striker for a reason. And I think we should stick to our guns and actually stick it out and try it, because I don't believe giving up halfway is not the key to success for me. It just isn't. But I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts on it. Even if we came to the same conclusion, we probably have different reasons for wanting to start.
I want to throw it to Jake, because me and Cal have been talking about this for the last 2 weeks at nauseum. So everyone kind of knows what we think about this.
The GYOKERES Defense League.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to have a new voice in here. What are your thoughts? Like, first of all, I actually want to ask you this question because Cal brings up a really good point. Do you like people say, Gyökeres doesn't fit the system, the off? Do you like the way the offense was operating with a Kai Havertz or a Marino, or would you prefer to see a change? Like, I'm just want to throw the floor to you on this, maybe from coming from that angle.
Well, I grew up in a more like watching more of a traditional kind of style, and especially as an American, the way we play is a little bit more meat and potatoes, right? So we like when I played forward, it was always a traditional style. It was always a on the last man, stretch the defense, try to get in behind kind of style, and so like traditionally, that's what I look for in a forward. So when I'm looking at this false nine stuff, it seems like specialist to me. It seems like a stopgap, like something that, okay, we don't have a traditional number 9. And so this is what we're going to do to figure out how to function, right? And as all of us were complaining for buying a number 9 for the last 4 seasons, it clearly hasn't functioned as well as it's supposed to. So to answer your question, I prefer a traditional number 9 Erling Haaland profile. Obviously, we're not comparing anyone to Erling Haaland. He's miles past everybody, but it's the profile that I want. And I think Gyökeres fits that profile especially. Now, in my opinion, Arteta bought Gyökeres, and whether you believe he wanted him or not, Gyökeres was meant to win us the Champions League. There's all kinds of space in Champions League, which is what he thrives on. And so we bought him to win the Champions League. Now, as far as Premier League is concerned, we all know we're facing low blocks. So the problem hasn't changed. We have a different profile and we have a different player, but the problem hasn't changed. We're still loading wheel on how to break down low blocks, even with him, we're still trying to do the same things. So I prefer Gyökeres because I think he's going to start getting on the end of these. If you really look at it closely, Timber has now taken 2 tap-in headers away from Gyökeres. One at the end of Chelsea.
Good observation.
One at the end of Chelsea and one in the middle of the Wolves game. And there were a couple of ones that he just missed. Gyökeres was like this close to getting on the end of a couple of the Saka crosses.
There's one where Ben White stole it as well in one of the games as well. I think it was it Brentford or was it Wolves? Not Brentford, sorry.
Timber did it again in the Wolves game. I was like, no, what are you doing? I remember that.
Which one was the one that Ben White stole? I think actually that was the Champions League game, I think against Bruges, where Ben White cuts across him. And I'm like, oh my God, Victor's got the worst luck here. Every fullback thinks they're playing striker at our club. Like,
it's the underlapping run that Timber loves to do, and he's somehow in the box. And because he's scored 3 or 4 headers for us, he's obviously confident that he can do so again.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you though, like, how do you feel about? I was going to get to what Arteta said about the press conference. Maybe I'll just sprinkle that in here because we'll get to what Arteta had to say. And I think actually, now that he's actually spoken on the topic, I'm very happy with the answer that he gave. I don't know if either of you guys have seen what he had to say, but
I watched the whole thing, yeah.
I was actually very, very happy with the answer that Arteta gave to the Gyökeres question. I mean, he, again, as I said, my good friend Harry Simeo starts out his segment being like, hey, do you think that Marino should be starting up front? I'm like, what are we doing here, Harry? Why are we starting with that as the question? Like, and then he goes, oh, by the way, when's Kai Havertz available? I'm like, Harry, we have a striker. His name is Victor Gyökeres. Actually, and then the guy who came out afterwards asked the Victor Gyökeres question. But like,
just Eugene Nusa says, you can't look down on your child and expect them to do better. Arteta and the players need our support. Arteta didn't have experience. That's why bottling was inevitable. Now the guy's capable. I don't think players are children. I think they're big boys. I think they can handle it. But they do need protection. But I still do believe that they do need protection from us as fans at a certain point. To a certain point, I think it's okay to criticize them and be honest, but I don't think we should tolerate bantering our own players or letting other people banter our players. I think that's where we kind of should draw the line. On Arteta, Bottling it, to be honest with you, I don't think Arteta really bottled a league yet, to be honest. I don't think like this is like a hot take. I think in the in that first title challenge season, people forget the season before that we finished fifth and we bottled top four, and no
That was
one
a
was
bottle.
expecting us
That
to
was a
do it.
bottle.
That one
And
was,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And at the back end of our first title charge, Saliba goes down but inexperienced, and
Also, Man City had 2 games in hand with a home game against us.
and I'm pretty sure they won the treble that season, didn't they?
No, it was
Yeah,
the next
they
year.
did win the
Or
treble
was
that
it?
year.
Was
No, that was
22,
that
23?
year. Yes.
So
They won the treble that year. Correct.
yeah. So yeah, and let's and I'll say this, and I'll keep saying this. I don't think we've never lost a league as being clear favorites. I think the best squad and the best team has been winning the league pretty much almost every single time for the last 20 years.
Always.
Like the Leicester season, maybe not, but other than that,
No, man, they were the best team. Leicester were the best team that season.
No,
if you win this league,
they were actually. You know what? At one point, I remember they went away to Man City and they won. I'm
no, I'm not talking about the best.
They're going to win it.
I'm not talking about the best after the fact. I'm talking about going into the season, looking at the squad. I'm going, this team is like when you're halfway through. I'm not even maybe like halfway through a season when you look at the squad and you look at how the team's playing. Usually, the team that wins is a team that it's not like a big surprise. It's not like this big, to be honest, like even Liverpool this season, they're not doing very well. That's been the biggest surprise. But we figured that out.
I thought
like,
Liverpool winning last
games.
year was a bit of a surprise package for me, to be honest. I didn't expect them to be challenging.
Yeah, and that's because look, and why was it that big of a surprise? Look at the circumstances of they winning. Salah literally had one of the best single seasons a player has ever had in the history of the Premier League. Like that's an outlier. That's the definition of an outlier of in terms of having the best squad and not winning it. You know what I'm saying? It takes something that insane to happen for the team who aren't really considered the best to go out there and win like the way they do. So I don't think we bottled it, but we can.
No, and by the way, taking it all the way to the last. I hate when people say bottle it in terms of that one where we took it to the last day. City were the front runners. We had no control. Like we did have, and we did lose the game against Villa, granted, right? And to be honest, it is the one game where Arteta decided to start Havertz in the 8. Like we were I'm like what was that? The one time he did it in a run that we were successful, and then we dropped points in that game. Fine, but out of our last 19 games, we won 17. So that's
still didn't win. That still hurts my heart.
that is like honestly, that is ridiculous. By the way, it's a great segue that Eugene, and by the way, big up Eugene. I feel like pretty sure this is the first time that you've been in the live chat. So everybody who live chats, as long as it's productive and it adds to the conversation, which clearly Eugene you have done. So big ups to you. Make sure unless you haven't already, make sure you're liking and subscribing. As well as just commenting, but I appreciate your input. But you've been giving me a good segue to one of our main topics, but I kind of not wanting it to overtake other parts in terms of the preview to the game. But Mikel Arteta and Arsenal are celebrating their 6-year anniversary together as husband and wife, or manager and football club this weekend, and it's a perfect against the manager who managed him for a long time as a player when he played for Everton, and he's coaching. So it's a matchup between the only 2 teams he played for in the Premier League, Everton and Arsenal. Back at Everton, where it all started for him, although in a brand new setting in Hill Dickinson Stadium. So it has now been 6 years since Mikel Arteta took over for Freddie Ljungberg. Fun fact. As Arsenal manager, people keep thinking it's Emery, but it was actually Freddie Ljungberg who was the interim manager at the time. Guys, I want to ask you this question. I'm going to start with Jake because Cal's just going to ruin it for me with his negativity. I love you, buddy. I'm kidding, my friend. I'm kidding. It's Christmas. Everyone's in the holiday spirit. All right. Does Arteta need to win a trophy this season for you, Jake, for him to validate the 6 years at Arsenal? And if he does not, what is the bare minimum for you of expectations that he needs to achieve?
So for me, I have an interesting viewpoint of this. It's something that I've had to kind of come to terms with. So for me, to answer your question, for me, yeah, he's got to win. You got to win now. Like, it's time. It's just time to win something. You've had, the experience, Eugene talking about how, the bottling was inevitable or whatever. Well, we have all of that experience now. We've gone through 22-23 where we were blitzing teams, and then that became a problem because we couldn't hold leads. And so we've learned from that. And then we had the handbrake on the next season, and we've learned from that. And then its injuries were crazy last season, and we've learned from that and bought a huge squad. So Arteta is learning, but it's time. It's just time to win the league, man. It's been way too long, for one, but everything's there now, including the experience. What we need, and this is an aside, but what we need now is mentality, and so, but as far as Arteta is concerned, I've had to come to terms with the fact that this club's DNA is to have a long-term manager. This just is in the club's DNA, especially because the Crunkies are still around, is to have a long-term manager. And so I've been really against Arteta for a while.
Okay, I didn't expect that one.
Until very recently, until after Anfield. After Anfield this season, I was fuming. I was absolutely disgusted after that performance at Anfield, and my match reaction reflects that. But ever since, not Old Trafford this season, but maybe Old Trafford the season before, where we won 1-0 and Trossard scored the goal. It might have been 2 seasons ago, where Trossard off the throw-in, because Dallo switched off and Trossard scores the throw-in at Old Trafford, and we won 1-0. My match reaction to that game got a lot of smoke because I was fuming. I was so mad, but I've accepted what I've seen from Arteta. Firstly, they love him. Josh Kroenke absolutely loves Mikel Arteta. And if he hasn't been sacked yet, he's just not going to be. Okay? So for me, yes, gotta win. You have to win something now. For Josh Kroenke, make Champions League. That's it. That's all he cares about, right? So no matter what Arteta does, even if he doesn't win anything, if he wins nothing and we scrape into the Champions League, Josh Kroenke will be so happy with that, and Arteta will still be here next season. And the same thing will be said for the season after that. No matter what he said in the press conference today about, I have to earn my next contract. Well, we get that, but Josh Kroenke doesn't care about any of that. So, yes, for me, I think Arteta is in absolute pressure cooker. But A, he's making $15 million a year, so it's not like he's going to step down if we have poor results. And B, Josh Kroenke absolutely loves him, so he's not getting fired no matter what happens. So the whole Arteta in or out thing is irrelevant to me.
Oof, I disagree actually. I was like you until the summer. For me, I think the appointment of Andrea Berta, I think that was a big thing, and I think no one really talks about the way his appointment happened. We went through that January transfer window without signing anyone. Mm-hmm. And we didn't sign anyone because we didn't have a sporting director at the time.
Right.
And I think that was a big shift of the football club, of them saying, we're not doing anything until we get this sorted, until we get the right guy in here, because they probably were not happy with the way things were being done. Probably that's why Edu had to leave and we got Berta in. And the fact that they were willing to do that and not just get the players Arteta probably wanted in January, for me, tells me that the power's probably shifted a bit. He's not pushed out the club or anything like that, but it kind of means that, okay, there's a structure, there's a way we do business, there's a way we want things done, and you're not the be all and end all Arteta. Secondly, the fact that with the amount of business that we did in the summer transfer window, it was completely unprecedented. They got surplus to requirements, in my opinion. And for me, that's something that we've never really done before. Even in the Declan Rice transfer window, which was our best window before the last one, we still only got like 3 key players. We got Declan Rice, we got Urian Timber, and we got Kai Havertz, right? And this window we got like 4. 4, and then with like three super subs.
But
like
we had a lot of outgoings this summer as well.
Yeah, we did have a lot of outgoings, but
I don't think they were quite notable. Like the only one that was really notable for me is Partey. You could argue Tomiyasu, but
a lot of our players.
He's been injured.
Tomiyasu was a ghost anyway.
Yeah, so I only like Kieran Tierney was half foot out the door already.
Yeah.
Like, but I think a lot of these guys that went. I mean, Kivior, I think, was the big one.
Yeah,
but I think we also replaced him. I think with Nkapie pretty well. So
yeah.
I liked him. So enough.
Yeah.
So what I say is that I think they showed a lot of ambition. I think we're hearing about, maybe I highly doubt it, but like if we do business in this January transfer window, like any business at all, that tells me that they really I felt like it was winning time in terms of when they in this summer transfer window. And I think especially if they go and do business in January, it'll be like a 1-2 hit punch in terms of no, it's winning time. So I do think he's under pressure to actually go and win something. To be honest with you. Arteta, 100%.
No. Who's putting that pressure on him?
I think the board, the club. To be honest with you, I think, and also the fact that Josh has taken a more senior role at the football club. I think Arsenal is like his baby now. Like that Arsenal is his project, and he wants to win. Okay, like if you can't be like I know nepotism, whatever, but if he's the guy, if you're taking control of something like Arsenal Football Club, and you want winning to be on your resume because it's a reflection of how you do business, it's a reflection of how you run things. And I don't think Josh has achieved that much on his own as yet. I think he's still in his father's shadow, and I think this is a big opportunity for him to actually go out there and be somebody, like in his mind. So I do think Josh actually really does want Arsenal to win. I do think it's winning time. I think there would be that pressure for him in terms of does winning, and the big question that Anton just asked is like, does winning justify his last 6 years? I think his last 6 years has already been justified.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's
the reason I say. The reason I say this is when at the end of this season, win or lose, I would say thank you, Arteta. Thank you for bringing us to this point. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for trying. Thank you for being the best you possibly could. But any season after this point, now we're taking a piss if he doesn't win. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if he doesn't win at the end of this season, I'm not FU Arteta. I'm like, okay.
Well, what even though
I think he's going to lose faith in the ambition of the football club. I think that's what you would do.
I'm someone who wanted him gone or like before this season. But you know what I'm saying? So but at the end of this season, I'm willing to say thank you, Arteta. You tried your best. I think you gave it a good shot and you got enough time.
Well, what if we win the Mickey Mouse Cup? Because I think
so that was my question. So
if he wins anything at all, Cal, do you think that pressure is relieved? If we win the Carabao,
I think it's relieved. I mean, I
disagree.
I think it's relieved.
And Ash,
it happens to everyone else.
Point, I know. Ash always asks me this question, and he always keeps saying to me, Anton, why don't you think the Carabao Cup is a big trophy, or why are you telling me you don't want your team to win it? I'm like, I never said I don't want Arsenal to win it. I would love Arsenal to win it. But for me, for Arteta's job, for what I'm thirsting for, if we ended this season and all we won was a Carabao Cup, given the squad that we built, given the ambitions that we've set out, By the way, I put the wrong logo in the top corner of the stream, which is hilarious. And that's my other channel. Was picking that out. Nobody would have noticed if I didn't say it.
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's because attention to detail. Yeah, because I just feel like that would just be underwhelming. Like for me, I want the big cups. I want the Premier League. I want the Champions League. If we can get a Carabao Cup, for me, it's like, okay, that's nice. We're kickstarted. We won trophies, so we don't have to put up with the banter of you guys don't win trophies. But for me, my eyes are still firmly fixed on the big thing. Like if we win the Carabao Cup and we end up trophyless throughout the rest of it, for me, I'm like, sorry, bro.
And also,
Let
we
me
need
ask
to
you
put
this.
in context. I just want to say this, and we also have to put in the context of where we are. We're at top of the league right now, and we're top of the Champions League. Hello, like you can't not win any of these competitions from this point. You know, we were 5 points ahead, like, and now we're
7 points ahead at one point.
Yeah, with no games in hand for anyone. Yeah, and we like if we lose the league at this point, that would be absolutely catastrophic.
Well,
absolutely catastrophic.
My regular panelist, he's a Man City fan on my show on the Cup Chasers. Nez has this idea that if you win the Carabao Cup, it's like a momentum thing. It's like, okay, we've got it over the line, and now we're not like you said, Anton, we have the monkey off the back of we haven't won anything, and he's a Man City fan, right? And he points to the fact that at the beginning of Man City's epic run of domination, they won 5 of these back to back to back to back to back. And every season they went on to win other trophies. And so he's a firm believer in the fact that this starts the winning. This is like a good place to start, especially because it's not really a trophy. It's for me, the trophy doesn't matter at all for any kind of moving the club forward. It's all about mentality. It's $100,000 prize money. It's like half a Kai Havertz salary for 1 week. So it's never really mattered to me as far as prestige, but with this idea, because like I said a little bit ago, the mentality is all we lack now. It's just a winning, ruthless mentality. So, and especially now, the way it's worked out, if we can smash Chelsea in a 2-legged semifinal, obviously we have to beat Palace. I'm not looking past Palace, but then beat Man City, who I expect to beat Newcastle. So if we beat Chelsea in a semifinal and Man City in a final to lift a trophy, I mean, what's that going to do for our confidence?
100%.
By the way, pick up to Joey. Joey, you're going to read that comment in a second. I was just realizing the Carabao Cup for me is very appropriately named. You know what Carabao is, guys, right? It's an energy drink.
It's an energy drink.
For me, all it does is it gives you energy, being like, okay, we got this trophy. Now we know how it is to win. Let's fucking go.
So it used to be a Carling Cup.
Chugging a can of Red Bull. Let's go.
It used to be the Carling, right? So then you're chugging some beer and getting drunk on victory. Is that what it used to be?
No, but I think it's appropriately named. I think literally it's a can of Red Bull that energizes you in the middle of the season.
Sets the tone, especially for a team that hasn't won anything yet. So Joey says Carabao Cup would have been a feel-good trophy at the start of this project. We need the Prem or UCL or both. FA Cup is a massive as well, but like a big trophy with it. I 100% agree with that take. I actually want us to start winning some FA Cups.
That's exactly.
I like the fact that we have the most. It means something to me.
Well, it's actually going back to what we were talking about with analyzing Arteta's whole tenure. That's one thing that's really gotten under my skin is that he seemingly has just thrown all the cups, all of the, he didn't care one jot about the Europa League. He didn't, it seems that way, right? The only tournament he's really cared about that we've been in since Arteta's been there is when we got back to champs. It's what it seems like. I mean,
I think
last season, the performance against Manchester United was disgusting. And the performance in the Carabao semifinal last season was disgusting, man.
Don't get me started on the big guy. Anyway,
No,
You guys
we
are
gotta
spot
move
on
on.
about
Yeah.
you guys are spot on about the Carabao Cup. It should kickstart something like that. You're 100% correct, Joey. I'm not just saying that because you're agreeing with all my points. I'm saying that because you're saying the truth, man. You're a truth sayer.
Yeah. It's also for me. It's not the end all be all. Like again, that's all we ended up with. I would be disappointed, to be honest. I think even I know, by the way, I know FA Cup, where like it's embedded in our history, but I've seen Wenger win the FA Cup, and I was still Wenger out.
Same.
Because I'm like, this is just a band-aid. I'm like, no, the first one was really important for me. The Aaron Ramsey goal to beat Wolves. I was crying. I was emotional. We hadn't won a trophy for 10 years.
I was losing my mind.
That was different, but we were in a different place then as a club. Our trophy at that point was all we could ask for. Like we bottled a lead to Birmingham City in the final of the Carabao Cup a year prior, 2 years prior. Like we were desperate for something, and then we did that back to back. I think we were happy where we were at the football club. We were not challengers for the title, but now that we're challengers for the title, it doesn't fulfill me. And Arteta's already won one, and everyone mocks him. Oh, he's only won an FA Cup. So like for me, you got to do the big ones. If you get the other ones, very nice, but get one of the other ones too. What are you going to say, Kyle?
Just said losing a final to Birmingham City. What are we talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Well, this is why no one believes we can win anything. That was so long.
They were a Premier League team back then, to be fair. Anyway, let's move on to the topic because we are at almost 40 minutes. And I want to get into Everton, into the game, and I want to also get into, as Jake has pointed out a few times already, and some of the comments made by Mikel Arteta in his press conference, a few interesting injury news. There have been a bit of back and forth reports as well about when Kai Havertz might be returned, and we had an exclusive drop, Jake, the other day from the man himself, from the hand of Arsenal, who graced us with his presence, to tell us that Kai was on his way back, only for 24 to 48 hours later for the reports to be that he had a setback.
He's done.
But anyway, before we get there, let's talk about Everton, because I want to just take back and look at some of their recent form, especially at home. So they're coming off the back of a 2-0 defeat to Chelsea. But like this has been their form. I think it's a bit weird, wild, some of these results. They had a 3-0 smashing last time they played at home against the Forest. The game before that, they squeaked it out away from home against Bournemouth. But then go back before the game before that, at home, they got smashed by Newcastle 4-1. By Newcastle, who, by the way, I think sit below them on the table. Then they had the bizarre game before that at Old Trafford, where with 10 men, after they've slapped each other, had a man sent off that was self-imposed. Still managed to beat United at Old Trafford.
That was awesome.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like teammate slaps his own teammate, red card. United
the VAR,
it's ridiculous.
The VAR conversation that they had during that, while that was going on, is going around on Instagram. It's hilarious. You should go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I need to listen to that.
But the injury news for them is, first of all, they're going to be missing two really important players. So Njai, who's probably their best attacker, he's going to be at African Cup of Nations. The best midfielder, I'd say the engine of the midfielder, Idrissa Gana Gueye, is also going to be gone. The other important midfielder, Dewsbury Hall, has been ruled out by David Moyes with an injury, but Jack Grealish is going to be available for this game. We don't know what capacity, if it's a start from the bench, but he'll be available to play according to David Moyes, so he will make it. How are we feeling about this? 1 week's rest, going to Goodison Park. How do we feel about Everton as a club? Do we think this is going to be a tough game tonight, Cal?
Based on our performance against Wolves, I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. Like, Wolves were absolute, like, they're garbage this season. They're bottom of the barrel garbage. They're on track to be the worst Premier League team we have ever seen in the history of football. Like, and we made a meal out of that game, an absolute meal. And very disappointed with that performance. It was disgusting. I think I was not as harsh as I was because I was trying to protect GYOKERES, because he was getting blamed for it for some reason. It's just a weird thing where our fan base likes to scapegoat a player, and right now GYOKERES has a target on his back. But Yeah, that performance was disgusting. And this needs to be a bounce back. This needs to be a bounce back game for us. We need to show that, this wobble, because we've been wobbling for a while now, guys. The wobbling we've been wobbling, like
Bubblehead dolls.
scraping wins, dropping points. We've been doing that for the last like 5 games. I don't think we've won a comfortable game in the Premier League since before Sunderland.
Since Tottenham. No, Tottenham. We won 4-1.
Oh yeah, Tottenham. Tottenham's, but that's probably
Brentford didn't offer much, to be honest.
It was pretty dicey until Saka scored that second goal. You
both
remember?
me and Cal,
we were raging.
Nervous.
Like
yeah.
I like the scoreline is like,
I've been raging during the games, like the last 3 games.
Because we've been raging because we haven't been looking as good as we looked before. That's why we're not looking as good.
Here's one thing that might be contributing to that, and it's kind of goes along with what I was saying about Old Trafford and the way Arteta approaches things. I've come to the conclusion, more so a resignation, that we're just not going to slap teams. Like, we're not going to, our philosophy is not to decimate teams. And it's because if Arteta sees a tactical advantage for us, he's going to put his whole approach to the game down to that. And my best example is every time we go to Old Trafford. Every time we go to Old Trafford, we play scared of them for some reason. And it baffles me, because I think if Arteta sees that a team just won't score against us, then he's totally cool to win 1-0, because he's just like, you're just not, if we don't ever give you any space, which is why my head exploded at the end of the Wolves game, because we just, at 85 minutes, we just sat back and got deeper and got deeper.
I was like,
and my head exploded. I was like, what am I watching? Why are we doing this?
In the chat, I literally posted, I was like, why are we giving Wolves this much space? We just dropped back and let them. This is something that we keep doing. We did it against Sunderland, and that's why we conceded as well, by the way. So it's something that we keep doing, where we if we're up like by 1 goal, we just sit back and let them attack us over and over and over again. We let other teams spam crosses into our box, and for some reason we can't clear the ball as well anymore. So that's one of the biggest flaws that I've seen for the club this season. If I see that if we're up like a 2-1 and in the 85th minute we drop back, my head will explode again. My head will explode again. I'm not in my place, so I can't break anything. So
Arteta has this.
I might just have to scream.
He's got this get it over the line mentality. This just get it done mentality. Whereas that's one thing that irks me about him to no end. Why don't we go out and smash everyone? Just stop being afraid. Stop being afraid to give up goals on the counter.
That first title charge.
Right, but we're not we don't defend like we did in 22-23. We're not as defensively naive and
Jake, to your point,
we're way better defensively than we used to be.
This is what bothers me sometimes, Jake, right? Because we do this every year. We play Tottenham, and he's willing to go and put onto the sword,
wipe the floor with him.
Thank you. He sends Eze out for blood. He's got 1, he's got 2. Keep going, right? You don't have the same energy against any other club in the Premier League. We put out a tifo for Tottenham. The crowd goes fucking nuts. But when Brentford come to town, next game at home, no tifo. We're all actually on our phones half the time, texting our buddies in the group chat, and the stadium is like half meh. The next one after that, we got Wolves, and we're all booing our striker and asking for his substitution. That's not the same energy as we had when we had Tottenham at home. It's not just the manager, it's the whole club. Like, what we do need to be going. I agree. I think we need to treat everybody with the same sort of energy, because we have the ability to do it.
What's cost us the title 4 years in a row, 3 years in a row?
I think there were different things, to be honest.
Yeah.
For me, every single time, it's been a lack of ruthless mentality. It's been a lack of, when it's crunch time, we've got 3 goals on your head top.
To be honest,
we just haven't had that.
The only time we actually did that was the 23-24 season. After we came back from Dubai, we were winning 5-0, 4-0, 3-0, 4-0, 6-0.
6-0.
Yeah, we were obliterating teams. So that's why I don't blame that loss on like a mentality. I think we just lost to a better team at some point.
Maybe, but if you look at some of the, like, for example, this idea that the title race is only in the last 10 games of the season or whatever. If you look at 23-24, where City's 4th in a row, where we lost by 2 points on the final day, right? We were right behind them until the final day. If you look at that season, how many games can we go to and point to that's where we lost the league? Game three of that season, in the 93rd minute, we gave up a corner kick goal to Jalpalinia and Fulham.
Oh my God.
If we would have beat Fulham that day, we win the effing league. So, like, if we just have a little bit more of a ruthless mentality, we get the 2 extra points. Like, if just a little bit more of a ruthless, it's about the mentality. That's all that we lack now. We have all the experience. We've gone through we've even made a semifinal of a Champions League. We've gone through all the experience we need as far as being there to get us over the line.
Didn't Fulham also go down to 10 men in that one?
What?
Didn't Fulham also go down to 10 men in that one?
Yeah.
This is a Christmas Eve game?
They did. No, this was game 3
this was
at the Emirates. This was at the Emirates, game 3 of that season. You know what I mean?
The one on Christmas Eve, we got smoked. We went 1-0 up, then we got smoked. Yeah. Anyway, Cal, I see your message.
I gotta hop
Jake. Before
you guys finish the stream. Sorry, guys, but
before we go though, Cal. Before we go, what are your predictions for tonight's game?
I'm going for a 2-0 Arsenal.
He steals my predictions every damn time.
But I'm telling you right now, bro, if we don't win this game, I don't think we're winning the league. That's how bad this is for me right now. I think a City gets above us, and I think we corrupt.
I don't think I have the right to make that take, Cal, because I've been we're winning it already in November.
Yeah, that's why I was arguing with you.
I can't do that. Yeah. I don't have the right to say that. I have to come up with what
I've seen the clip, Anton.
Yeah, I know everyone has. All right, Cal. Big ups to you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm good with Cal.
Yeah. So Jake, welcome to the co-host seat then.
Thank you.
So actually it's good opportunity to actually kind of get your takes on some of the stuff that me and Cal have kind of just like talking about, and just kind of get more of your view. And I think one of the good parts to talk about here would be the press conference. And you brought up a very, very key quote, and I want you to have the floor on this, because you've obviously come here. It actually wasn't going to be one of the quotes that I was going to talk about. I was going to be focusing more on some of the injury updates and stuff. Can you read me the one you were saying about his achievements? On changing is it the one that on changing the culture at the club is one of Mikhail's big achievements in the last 6 years, or what our success has been down to? Oh, if you thought he'd still be here now when he took over 6 years ago. Okay, cool. How much? Okay, on is that the question? Was that the question? Which one was the one where he said?
Asked if he imagined staying with Arsenal beyond 2027, Arteta replied, yes, but it's about today, and a lot of things have to happen in the next few months as well to earn the right, is what he is talking about, to earn the right.
Yeah. So that's your headliner. So the speculation that everyone has had, which is like Arteta has got to win a trophy this season for him to keep his job, he's now somewhat confirmed, not from a executive position, but maybe in terms of his own ambition, that I feel Arteta is that type of guy though. Like you can tell he's got that sort of personality about him. He's different than Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger had won so many trophies. These are the earlier stage of his career. He'd done some historic things, but then he kind of was just stuck in with that Emirates project, and where the Kroenkes are just like, just get us Champions League so we can continue to fund the stadium. Let's try to spend as little as we can on players, and you're going to coach the hell out of these players to get the best out of them, to just qualify for Champions League, right? And as long as Wenger kept doing that, like as your logic, he kept going, he kept going, and we weren't winning trophies for 10 plus years. Like people complain Arteta about at the 3-year mark of not winning trophies already. Like, and now we're at 5 years really, because the first one he did win within the first 6 months. So about a 5.5 now. Yeah. Do you think that Arteta is kind of telling us something about how he believes? Like, do you think Arteta would step down if he doesn't win a trophy? Like from what he's saying?
Absolutely not. No way. Look, I've been a big fan of Mikel Arteta. I was a fan of Arteta before he was an Arsenal player. I actually liked what he did at Everton and the way he, was kind of a mainstay there. And then when he came to Arsenal, I was a huge fan. And then he became like the club captain. He was like the second guy with the armband or whatever. And I always thought, like, in the back of my mind, I always had a little soft spot for him. I was like, man, Arteta, if he was born at a different time, he might have actually got a look in with Spain. But because
that was one thing I always confused about, why he never got a call up with Spain.
Well, because it was Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta and Sergio Busquets.
But at least on the bench, there are some guys on the bench for Spain who I looked up and I'm like, I think Arteta's a bit better than him. I don't remember now, because clearly they're not good enough for me to remember their names now. But I remember that there were guys on that bench for Spain picked into the squad. I'm like, really? Like Arteta's not better than him? I'll have to go back. I want to look. I think
he could have been a World Cup winner.
What was that first one? You think it was Euro 2020? It
was 08. It was Euro 2008 was.
Well, I know Santi Cazorla was in that one. Santi Cazorla was in that Euros team.
Yep.
But that was before he was an Arsenal player.
And then the 2010 World Cup, I think he could have gone to.
Yeah, Euro 2028. Spain squad. I'm going to do this right now. I know this is completely off the topic, but this is like a take of mine that has lasted for about 17 years, and it irked me.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked Arteta as a player, and I think he should have got a look in with the Spain team. And the only reason I'm putting that out there is because as a manager, I have different opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the midfielders in that team, okay, Andres Iniesta, Xavi, Cesc, Santi Cazorla.
Fabregas, yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Who is Ruben de la Red? Yeah, anybody? Take any takers? Yeah. Who the fuck is he? How did he make the team and Arteta didn't make the team? I knew it. There was these names of guys in this team. I'm like, how the hell is he? He was played for Getafe. He was 23 years old at the time.
Maybe Del Bosque had a problem with Arteta?
I don't know.
Wasn't it Vicente Del Bosque was the
yeah, he was the manager then, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had just won the World Cup. Well, he won the World Cup. What? No, also
they won the Euros, then the Cup, then the Euros.
Yeah. But then there was Euro 2012. They
won that one too, yeah.
The Euro 20. Well, I think the World Cup squad, I think fair enough. That one was filled. Like Fabregas was struggling to start for that team.
Yeah.
But what was the one when he was actually an Arsenal player? And there's another guy in there. I'm like, so the midfielders were Javi Martinez, who again I think was more of a defender. Andres Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas, Juan Mata. Okay, there's some really good players. Xavi Alonso, Sergio Busquets, Santi Cazorla, David Silva. Okay, you know what?
That's tough to get into. That's tough to get into.
But I do feel like he stashed Javi Martinez as a because when Javi Martinez moved to Bayern Munich, he was playing center back.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like he kind of like
There was an opening. There was an opening.
I think there was an opening somewhere, like in the center backs where they had Raul Albiol, PK, Juan Fran actually was pretty good.
Juan Fran was good. Juan Fran from Atletico Madrid. Yeah.
Sergio Ramos, Arvalo Arbeloa was at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba. Yeah, you know what?
That's a tough squad to get
Jesus
into.
Navas.
That's a tough squad.
Yeah, no, that one was hard. Yeah, that one was hard. But the 2008 one, I remember he was an Everton player, and I was like, that guy at Everton, Mikel Arteta, is better than Del Red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, anyway, I digress. We got way off the topic.
But that got way off topic, yeah. But my point about bringing that up was that, like, I as a person and as a player, you know, and as an Arsenal manager, of course, I want him to, you know, if he's going to win stuff, be there forever. It doesn't bother me or whatever, you know. But I think that because we are a club that likes a long-term manager, that needs a long-term manager, he's gotten way more leeway than if we're Chelsea. You know, if he was at Chelsea, for example, you know, Roman would have axed him 3 years ago. You know, obviously that's a whole different, because Roman's not there anymore, but you know what I'm saying. You know, their kind of culture would have axed him.
We've got a few chats in here. Just want to read out here quick, because I actually want to get into the rest of the press conference, some of the notable news as we build up to this Everton game. Kalambad H1K, thanks for the comment, man. Again, make sure you're liking and subscribing. I hope you waited long enough for me to read out your comment, because Everton have, because it's been sitting there for a few minutes. Everton have the mentality, but they are missing some key players. I agree. I think at times Everton has been a tough team to play. But again, what did I call them in Anton's tears which is like, what did I call them? I have it right here, because I was trying to point out, it's a guessing game. I actually changed the name to AFCON effect because whatever, but it's a guessing game with them. I don't know what Everton is showing up. They do have the mentality in some games, but like, you know, they'll beat Man United with 10 men, and then they'll show up at the weekend and get spanked by Newcastle 4-1.
Yeah,
that's Everton in a nutshell.
Right. So
like, and as well, like, who gets their own players sent off? Who's fucking having fights? Like, it's a very weird team. But then again, I would not put it past them, because it's Arsenal. David Moyes is going to have them very well set up. And look, let's not forget that the most important draw was an away from home against David Moyes in that 22-23 season, right? That was one of the games after the Anfield game, right?
Yeah, I'd rather not think about it.
Frustrated us before. David Moyes has frustrated us before, right? I would be surprised if today was a day where Everton come out and they're just really well structured and really tough to beat. It's not going to be a Newcastle day. You're like, they'll give Newcastle that grace because they, you know. But when they play Arsenal, But yeah, again, I agree. They have the right potential. I think a big part of this though is Dewsbury Hall and Idrissa Gana Gueye is massive. Because
who's even coming in?
Yeah, and by the way, who's
even going to play for them?
Biggest, best midfielders in the world right now. So Arsenal should have a massive advantage in that position. It's just, but again, we had Cal said we had a massive advantage last week against Wolves, and somehow we're able to break it down. For me, it comes down to this, and I wonder. I've said this in so many things, by the way. A few other comments from, but I'll get back to this point. From Senga Thram. There's some of these. I miss the days that actually just give you the username. Now they give you the @ and it's so hard to freaking read.
Yeah.
Senga Thramikaran 3053. Sorry if I butchered the fuck out of that, my friend. Best wishes for your YouTube channel. Keep going. Much love. You know what? I gotta say, it's been a big week for this channel. Like, I didn't even realize. I had some conversations with people. I didn't even realize some of the people are actually watching this show. They never comment, or like, but they're in my viewers, and I'm like, oh yeah. I've talked to people backstage. I'm like, oh, I'm a big fan of yours. Oh, I'm a big fan of yours too. I'm like,
right?
You watch the show?
I didn't even know you're watching.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. Yeah, and then of course my big man, Dan the man. Do you watch the Goodness Therapy?
Actually, I have heard of Gunner's Therapy. Yeah.
Watch the Goodness Therapy.
Yeah.
Well, they're my second channel. I mean, I have obviously my own personal channel. I've got this podcast, but there are other ones. I'm there almost every Monday, their time, or Tuesday. Yeah, me and Dan, we're just starting to talk today about some big plans of a collaboration, permanent collaboration between our two channels. This is actually other Dan. This is negative Dan. He's made it very clear. This is Realist Gunner. Big friend of mine. I don't know if you've seen us go back and forth on the terrace, but really behind the scenes, me and Negative Dan are big.
I've seen
brothers.
Negative Dan on the terrace. Yeah.
But we're actually we argue on the sometimes because our opinions differ on the club, but he's a great guy, and he's always there for me, man. Like, big ups to you. Thanks again for commenting. Yeah, exactly what he said. Smash the likes. People, smash the likes. So I've had this theory about this Everton game, because Dan, good person to come in here, has said, that Everton game is going to be a really tough one. Look at our results recently away from home, and he's right. I mean, we have not won away from home since, I believe, Burnley, and that was, I believe, right at the start of November, right? But I feel like every single time, like in terms of for us, they've just come at the wrong times, these away games. We went the first one, the Sunderland defeat. I just felt that was right before the international break. We, by the way, were keeping a clean sheet record of like 8 straight clean sheets. We're one away from breaking the all-time record at the club, which was almost 100 years old, over 100 years old. But we had to travel to Burnley the week before, and then we had to go all the way to the Czech Republic and back. And we were missing GYOKERES at the time, so we're like, I felt like he was missing, Martinelli was missing, Madueke was missing. We had nobody to turn to on the bench. You could tell that we were gassed. I think the difference between this one and that Fulham game that you were discussing was I just felt like, love my guy. I just felt like we could see at the end. Based on, and you can tell we were flagging. Just please, clock, just fucking run out. Give me the 3 points. You could tell we were close, and then they just got one at the end. And I'm like, because I knew that this was coming if the clock didn't run out. That eventually we just looked like dead on our feet. And the Chelsea game, I felt somewhat similar. I felt like we emptied the tank against Tottenham and Bayern. Like, we made a massive emphasis on those two games. And by the time we got to Chelsea, and I know, by the way, we went down to 10 men. They went down to 10 men, which I think obviously plays a massive factor in this. But I just kind of felt like, as well, the energy that were there in those prior two games wasn't there. Like, why couldn't we break down a 10-man team? Like,
the Chelsea game, I think
the Villa game, you were like, I can't even piece together a fucking lineup.
Yeah, that one.
The defense completely switched out. Like,
I think the Chelsea game was a little bit. The Chelsea game was kind of an outlier. I think the Chelsea game was kind of an outlier because we did not expect their approach to the game. We thought that it was going to be a proper football match. Instead, it was a WWE fight. So I don't think we were expecting that. I think that one's a little bit different.
Yeah. So Dan is changing his tune a little bit on the Everton game, because you've been telling me this was gonna. What, Dan? Could you put in? Did you say that before? Like when we were talking about a couple weeks ago? Did you think this would be a draw or a loss? I know it wasn't a win, but anyway. Now he said Everton's injuries and AFCON players out is the only thing why I'm a little optimistic. No, he hasn't changed. Still think we don't win. Okay.
So with this in mind, I was looking at their squad because remember I just asked who's even going to come in, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of changing my tune a little bit, because Dewsbury Hall's out, Adrissa Gay is out as well, which means it's probably going to be Eric Boonham and Charlie Alcaraz and James Garner.
Yeah.
That's probably who we're going to see. And up top, I'm expecting to see Grealish if he plays. Barry actually started last time, but it might be Beto and maybe even Tyler Dibley. And based on these players, I'm not so certain that Everton are just going to be sit back and defend.
I love that.
Dwight McNeil loves to get forward, loves to carry the ball. Tyler Dibbling obviously is a dribbler, and Charlie Alcaraz is an offensive, attacking kind of minded player. They don't really. It's not really like a defensive
great
team.
tennis player, by the way. Same name, Carlos Alcaraz.
Is he a tennis player?
No, Carlos Alcaraz. He's like the number 2 ranked tennis player in the world, I believe. I think he's number 2 right now.
I don't pay any attention to tennis at all.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna.
Yeah, I haven't known tennis players since Federer.
Federer was the GOAT. I've seen him live in person because I live in Melbourne, so
sure.
I get to go every year to the Australian Open. So
yeah.
That's why we have. I got a little bit more of an interest in the tennis, just because it's one of the only sports where I can see at a highest level in the world that I can kind of get a chance to go and see live.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm into that. But yeah, I just find it funny, like name's Carlos Alcaraz, and right now the current number 2 tennis player in the world's name is Carlos Alcaraz.
It might be a little bit of an attacking kind of, more of a counter-attacking lineup, and that's been our issue, right? It's not having space. So if we can maybe pull them out a little bit, I agree with Gunner's therapy. GYOKERES will struggle against Keane and Tarkowski if we do the same things that we've been doing. But if we maybe give them the ball a little bit, I know Arteta is way against giving anybody the ball. He wants to have the ball for 95 minutes. I understand that. But if we let them have it just a little and let them come onto us just a little bit, GYOKERES will have space in behind. And if we can get Keane and Tarkowski running at their own goal, we'll devastate them.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I have a different. I've seen Dan was talking about this in our group chat before, how he thought that I just think GYOKERES himself is a powerful man. Like he is a very physical guy. I don't know if he'll struggle with them physically. I think if anything, though, he might get engulfed into a bit of a grappling match, which is kind of
they'll love that.
Which is maybe where Dan is coming from, more than he's actually going to get out muscled by them, because I don't think he gets out muscled, which is what he was saying in our group. I think he said out muscled was the word. That part I don't agree with. I just think that he's going to get sucked into it too much.
Yeah.
But I actually feel that GYOKERES is. I feel like that the last few games, but I think now. By the way, having seen some of the training clips as well, you not seen the inside the training? He buried a freaking one-on-one chance that was. I think they're working on something. I think they've been working on their chemistry this week.
Good.
I think I think the club wanted us to see that on the because all of the conversation this whole week has been GYOKERES. This doesn't fit into the system. Blah 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 blah. And I think Arsenal is sort of, and by with Arteta's comments as well, are sort of like, no.
Calma.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
We bought him for a reason. We didn't blindly buy this guy that doesn't fit the profile of our club at all. Like, why would we waste £65 million for a guy who doesn't fit the profile?
I think that a lot of times,
a little bit more confidence in us guys. Like,
for sure. I think a lot of times, especially in these fan spaces and on Twitter, and you have all these chat pros, I think a lot of the times people just don't like it's as if we think that players can't improve, managers can't improve, chemistry can't improve just because we haven't seen it yet. They're professionals, man. They literally get paid ridiculous sums of money to work this out, to figure this. That's literally what they're getting paid to do, is to figure this out. And to think that they're like not even working on it, or they're just like, oh, it'll let it all work out. It'll just happen if we just get. Nah, man, they're working on this. They're figuring it out. They hear the noise. They're definitely working on it.
I was saying on the terrace yesterday, which is these players, they watch film, they review the matches. Like we're sitting in here with the assistant coaches on a TV screen being like, in the last game you were doing this. I need you to doing this. Or, hey, Bakayo, Victor, figure this shit out. Because I need to find a way for you to get this guy the ball.
When you
Martin,
do
I need to
this,
find a
you
way
do
to get
this.
that, and they're probably sitting. You know, I was like, I see. Again, it's a little 5-second clip of the guys on a counter attack, and they throw it through for GYOKERES, and he's 1-on-1 with Raya, and he's nailed it, right? And I think it's sort of the club being like, no, we're working on this all week, but let's see what it's like in reality when the other team's playing low block. You know what I mean? So, I think it's coming there. I think you're right.
Well, do you remember what Declan Rice said when he first signed? Like one of his third or fourth interviews after he signed, he mentioned how the difference at Arsenal and West Ham was how much data and tactical analysis and like every little detail of the game they're looking into. So I know for a fact they're watching the film, as you say, and they're saying, look, when Saka beats his man here, you need to be another step forward. You need to be on this defender instead of this defender. You need to be making the back post run instead of the near post run. Like, I know for a fact that's all of those conversations are happening, and then we will improve. I 100% believe it.
I agree. Big up to Curtis Painter. He said, I agree with this 1000%. Great super chat, or not super chat. I wish soon, one day.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Great comment. Leo being back is massive for G14. Martinelli can never see. I agree. By the way, there's that one. I was screaming at my TV. And by the way, the reaction from my other family members on this shot was shocking. Like, it was just reverse whatever logic. Victor's making the perfect run. He is literally, you cross that ball to Victor there. That is a goal. There's no way the keeper is beaten. But Martinelli decides he's going to freaking try to fire it across.
I was so mad, dude.
And they'd be like, why didn't GYOKERES get to that? Martinelli fired her. I'm like, dude.
It's because he didn't shoot and he didn't pass. It was like a in between. You know what I mean? Like, my thing about Martinelli is I like Martinelli a lot, but he needs space. He needs space, man. He's not breaking down low blocks.
That's why he's killing it in the champs.
100%. And I agree with Curtis here. Trossard is the one. Actually, for me, I would start Eze on the left in this game. If
Dan is still in here, like, I was having a conversation in one of his, it wasn't Dan who said this, it was one of the other guests, panelists I was on with, was saying, I'm done with Eze on the left. I'm like, he's had 2 45-minute periods with him on the left. How's that enough? Like,
well, the thing is,
basically the equivalent of a full match on the left, and he hasn't been able to ride it out throughout the whole game. By the way, in one of those 45 minutes, he found GYOKERES within the first 3 of them for a tap-in goal against Forest, right? Like,
Eze is starting level. He is a starter for anyone.
Yeah.
For
me,
so get him
my
in the
best
team. 11.
For me, my best. This is why I disagree with a lot of people. I think Leo's been really good, and by the way, Leo's been a super sub for us a lot. He's one of these players who's great in every, and he can pop up in all parts of the pitch. Like, he's so versatile as well. He's a bit of a jack of all trades.
I call him Jack. Yeah. It's funny you said that because I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show Supernatural.
Yeah, I think my sisters are into that show.
Well, the main characters at one point in the season, they have a brother. They find out that they have a half brother, and Leandro Trossard looks like the actor, like spot on looks like the actor, and the character's name in the show is Jack. And so my wife and I, we call anytime Trossard's got the ball, come on, Jack, come on.
Oh, okay. Very, very interesting. This is the first time, by the way, I've heard anybody suggest this. So big up, Eugene. Keep commenting. Gabriel Jesus should start today. GYOKERES seems to be under pressure and needs a bit of time to settle. Liverpool have realized this. That's why they're starting at Kike and bring Isak. To be honest, Eugene, if we're in a month from now, I would 1000% agree with you. I just think that right now, I don't know if Jesus can play more than half an hour.
Yeah,
in his point in his recovery.
Well, Cal said it earlier. We need to work on GYOKERES being in the team, so he needs to be in the team.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where I disagree. This is why I've been backing GYOKERES, and it's the exact same thing that Cal was saying, which is we need to look at this long term and look at how to make this work. If you just hit the panic button and be like, I want to play the other guy just because I'm panicking right now, then you've thrown everything out the window. You're taking a step back. If all of a sudden, like to all the people, I know some of you might be in this comment in this chat group, and I'm willing to hear your rebuttal because again, you know me, I'm always willing to listen to everybody's opinions. That's why we have these chats, we have these conversations.
That's why we're here.
But for me, I just remember why we wanted Victor GYOKERES. Like Kai Havertz, if you like it or not, cost us 2 trophies last year. Now he's been gone for a very long time. He's been injured since then. He had one really nice run in the preseason against Bilbao.
I honestly thought he was looking good preseason. He had bulked up. You could see he was.
Although
bigger.
the Tottenham game, the
preseason
Hong Kong,
one. I watched
that
in
Hong Kong. Yeah. Look, I saw him play at Singapore. So, by the way, this is the other point.
Did you go? You were there?
Yeah. I was because
awesome.
my girlfriend lives in Indonesia, in Jakarta, which is about an hour's flight.
Sure.
So last minute I got it. I hopped on the plane,
awesome.
And I went across. Last second thing. It was like I was at a wedding, and this guy goes, "Oh, I got tickets. I work in Singapore. I got work in Singapore, so I got this like basically with Singapore Airlines. I basically have a business class deal, and it's like a kind of like a pass,
like a cheap flight.
Whenever because I use it every morning to go to work, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I want to go on Singapore Airlines, I'll go on Singapore Airlines. But I got to pay like $100 or something every time.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, fine, I'll cover your $100. Just give me your pass. I'll give it back to you tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I just went online. Do I have any fucking tickets left? Yes. Nice. And I nicked some. And first thing I literally show up, like I felt like I was arriving late. The first thing I walk onto my seat and I see Victor GYOKERES coming out of the tunnel.
Nice.
To a standing ovation. I'm like, is it the same guy everyone was giving a standing ovation to, and now we don't even want him to start? Like that for me like drives me nuts. But anyway, back to my original point, right? Which is we were crying out for a striker. Havertz wasn't the solution. We wanted a number 9. Jesus, I think if anything, Jesus is the one who's won titles with Man City. We were top of the league when he was at his best and he was firing. I think he was our best attacker when healthy that season. I think he was more important in that first half of the season, leading up to the World Cup, than even Saka was in terms of our attack, right? Like he was probably Arsenal's best player. And then, of course, since then he's been injured, right? We've never actually been really leading in a title race like this with Havertz up front ever. We were constantly behind in that City one, right? We've never got it over the line with any of these other guys. Marino last year, come on. I was saying it on every single show. Like, the reason why I think Arsenal will be better this year than last year is because we actually played a midfielder up front for basically the entire second half of the season. And we still beat Real Madrid over 2 legs with that. But it was clearly a shortcoming of ours. If you put a real man who really is, whose trade is to support a striker in that position instead, man, think about the heights we can go. You just got to kind of let him ride it out. I was saying this. I have a show called Under Pressure, which the video would have been out about a half an hour before this thing. And I was saying, I took about 20 minutes talking about it. And I played all the clips of all the opinions about him. And I said, he's been very, very unlucky because Arteta will say this. I actually want to get into the quotes from Arteta. No, I'm gonna lead into that because that way I can actually just get it out. And this was the questions about. Okay, I forget about who should be starting. The main thing about what he thinks about GYOKERES. All right, on his assessment of Victor in his first few months at the club, I think the level of attention on him hasn't changed since he signed to today. That's normal. Everybody was so excited to bring a number 9 into the club. We did it. We played. We brought a player with. I don't know. We paid. He said we paid, but he wrote on the thing. Transcript says we played. So someone got to edit that. We paid. We brought a player with an incredible scoring record that had to adapt to the league. He had no preseason. The first few weeks were difficult because physically he wasn't in his best state And he's a player that needs that. Like any other player in this league, almost perform at that level. And then he kicked on. So, by the way, for all those guys, this is what I fucking hate about the whole narrative, right? He took look on Man United. I hear that clip of him, like, having that really bad touch and trying to do a few step overs and losing the ball and it rolling out of bounds for a throw for Man United, right? And
Right.
I've seen that clip on the loop over and over and over and over and over again. But what Arteta is telling you right here is he didn't have a preseason. That is literally his preseason. Everybody else is fit, and he's just kind of like trying to work his way into the game and adjust to a new league. And he hasn't even really gotten his fitness correct. And it's not just fitness; it's all the technique, the timing, the perfection of your movements. Like all that comes into play when you're mid-season, right? That's why you can see him as it went further down, him to get a little bit more confident. You could see before that little bit when he got injured, he scored 3 goals in 3. But before that little spurt, I could see him. The touch was right. He was getting the ball from the left like he liked it in Sporting. He was combining with his teammates. He was creating space, as everybody likes to say in mock. But it was all happening, and it was stuff that he does in Portugal. And then the Atletico game happens. He scores 2, and I'm like,
he was magnificent. He was
fantastic. Is lights out for everybody else. Because this guy now down the back of the net, you guys are all fucked.
He was great against Newcastle too.
Yeah, we hit the weekend. He scores against Burnley. He scores an amazing cross to Trossard, right? Then he's injured.
Yeah. I think that's been the biggest issue, is that he was getting it. Like you say, he was getting there, and then the injury.
But then this is what happened, I think, which is why everybody thinks he doesn't fit in. And we have to switch. When Marino's up front, we have to switch the way we play. So it's not that Arsenal wants to play like that with Marino. People forget how we played in the month of October, by the way, whilst keeping clean sheets. We were playing the Victor GYOKERES. We were trying to figure out the Victor GYOKERES, right? And was starting to fire. Then we have to kind of like play to the strengths of Mikel Marino. So we're kind of now reteaching how we like to do the offense, and we want to play with Mikel Marino. Then GYOKERES comes at halftime for Mikel Marino, so it's hard to make that adjustment then from a Mikel Marino style to a Victor GYOKERES style in the middle of a game. Sometimes not even halftime. Sometimes on 60 minutes, 70 minutes in those games, and we're all sitting there like scrutinizing him like it's Dancing with the Stars. And then he gets his start, and everyone's like on his neck. By the way, not even by the end of the game, after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? In both of those games. And it's like, you haven't even like let the dude breathe. He's still coming back from injury. And that's kind of what Arteta is saying. So he goes, I think he had a really good period, and then he got injured. This is the manager himself saying it. This is the guy who's seeing him every single day. The guy who you are all thinking has given up on him. Right? And he's now back. But I saw a lot of positives in the last 2 games that he's done. We need to continue to tweak and understand him a little better in certain situations, and he needs to do the same. But that's about time, and we have to fully support him. He goes on the scrutiny on him that has taken time. And if the scrutiny on him has taken him by surprise. Mikel goes, I don't know. At the end, you have to experience it. You can imagine the global impact that you're going to have to deal with when you come to a big club, and the expectations are as it is. But after you have to live it, after you have to live it, and living it is always slightly different to your imagination. But he's doing it with a lot of desire. I think his energy level, his commitment are absolutely top. And we are here to help him because we have all been here. We all need time. There's always moments, and strikers have moments. They score more goals, less goals. We need to be there for him. And then the big question, which I loved, the emphatic answer from Mikel Arteta, to close out his press conference, and he just dropped the mic and walked away.
Yeah.
He goes, on if we'll see another level from him in the second half of the season. Yes.
I agree, 100%. And it's interesting, if you see the comment there from Curtis Painter about we're after 4 trophies this year. If he's not firing, he's got to sit. Who is firing? What number 9 has the evidence this season? Are we going to play Trossard? Trossard number 9 because he's the one that's scoring goals? So we need to play Victor into form, because just because Jesus had a good That's one thing. Jesus has come in twice, and he's been lively. He's done Gabby Jesus things, but we need the goals. And look at what Jesus has in these performances, these last two performances only. The shots that he has gotten off, I like Jesus. No offense to him. Weak. Very weak. Tepid, right at the goalkeeper stuff. Who is firing? We forget.
And by the way,
we do this
he's had
revisionism.
three big term knee injuries.
And the way he plays,
have the strength. He's not going to have shot strength. He just
the way he plays, he's going to go down again soon. The way he plays, man, I just don't have faith.
For me, I think once Kai is back and available, I'm thinking that Jesus is going to more predominantly be a winger because, as I just said, 3 major knee injuries. He's never going to have that shot power. He's never. His body will not allow it, and that's another part about. I don't think he should be starting because you want it. If he gets a 4th one, that's it.
I thought he was done already. Honestly.
Right. He's literally on the line. It's great to see him back. For me, he's a bonus this season.
Absolutely.
Like he can come in, he'll provide us moments. I do think that there will be times where he is going to have his moment where I thought he had it the other day, by the way. And then I was like, oh, I'll look at the replay, and it was Pescara who put it in.
Yeah.
But I just think that it is. Curious keeps going. That's why it's taking time to Isak ages to bet in. No preseason with new. Yeah, exactly. Look, and by the way, I was the biggest Isak criticizer, mainly just because the criticism was coming at Victor, and I'm like, If you're gonna play that game, I'll play games with you too, because the other dude's been worth
worse,
twice the amount.
It's been worse.
That's the thing. He's got 2 goals in all competitions. That's a third of GYOKERES' total. In the Premier League, GYOKERES has got 4. Isak's got 1. That's 1/4. But he was double the price.
I just think
he was meant to be the answer that won the freaking title for them.
He's just overrated, man. That's all it is. Isak was just overrated.
So funny. Me and Cal, said this point to Cal a few times. So all the Liverpool fans have been like, "Oh well, one of the reasons why he's not fine because Wirtz isn't playing well." I'm like, did you not have Joe Linton as the attacking 10 at Newcastle? I don't think he needs much. It's right. Tonali and Bruno, that was his supply line. So you got McAllister and Gravenberch. He's got no excuses. Sorry.
I agree.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. I think the GYOKERES thing again. This is now, I think, the 3rd or 4th straight episode of this podcast where I'm constantly having to just back the guy, and I look. At the end of the day, I do think he does need to score soon because I need to take the pressure off. Eventually, a lot of these people are right. If it doesn't come off, and we're talking about game after game after game after game after game, yeah. And Arteta said that as well earlier in his press conference as well, which is you got to play the hot hand. And if somebody else outbeats him to the spot,
that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I'm not sitting here. I'm a fan. I'm a huge GYOKERES fan because he is the profile of forward that we don't have. And now we do have a traditional number 9. But yeah, I mean, if it just doesn't work, that's fine. Whatever. We need someone to work, though. Somebody has to work. Because everyone's saying, if you've heard the narrative about, title winners have that guy. Every title winner has that guy in the team. For us, it used to be Henry, of course, but last season it was Salah, then it was KDB for City. There was that guy that was, or Holland, I should say.
I do think we have that guy. He just not, I think it's that guy's in the back of my shirt. I think it's Declan Rice, and I think it's Bukayo Saka. But more Declan Rice than anything else. He does it in other ways. And by the way, let's not forget, we're about 3 weeks removed or 4 weeks removed from an Aberreche as a masterclass, and I think he's the player in our team who can take the game by the scruff of the neck and just win you games with.
He's an interesting one. Where's his best place in this team?
See, that's the thing for me. I was getting to there, and I think I cut myself off. As good as Trossard has been, because you started talking about Jack. That's right. We're talking about
yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah. I'd still my best 11. I want to get Odegaard in the 10. I want to get Eze out on the left. I want to get Saka on the right. the first seconds I saw Saka and Eze together as a combination when we played City, like that 1-1 game, we brought them on at halftime, but the two of them together, and we all of a sudden, City's defense could not handle them. By the way, I think, that's another period where Eze was playing, I think, wider, maybe, or was he in the 10? Some of these games come by. And
well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Arteta loves the Rice-Zubi combo. So that's why we haven't seen like Declan, Eze, and Odegaard together in the middle, or Zubi, Eze, and Odegaard together in the middle, which if you're going to shoehorn Martinelli or Trossard into the team, Eze is going to have to be in that left 8. Yeah. I think Eze needs to be in the team.
I think Eze has got a lot of the way I described Eze to my dad, because my dad just watches Arsenal games. He's not really paying attention a lot to the other teams around the league, right? And he was like, "Who's Eze?" I'm like, "Dad, come on, how do you not know Eze? He plays for England."
Yeah, he's been in the league for 5 years.
But the way I described Eze to my dad was, he's just a better Trossard.
Yeah,
he does everything that Trossard does, but at a higher level, and he's a greater athlete. Mm-hmm. And so he can play an inverted left. He can do all the stuff that Trossard do. He can provide you moments. But number one, Odegaard's not been fit, so he hasn't been able to play in that position. But we haven't tried it out enough. I think one of my biggest things I want to see, especially I think maybe now is not the time for it, because you got the Christmas period, you have to rotate the team, you got 4 games. The year ends in 11 days, and we've got 4 games in between that time, right? Before the year closes out. I know now's not the time, but once we hit past January and we're starting to get into that last 19, I want to start to see the best players we have available in the Premier League week in, week out, gaining a rhythm, playing with each other. That's one of the reasons why we won 17 out of 19 in that season. I think if you persist with Eze on the left, you're going to start to see that he can do what Trossard does, but at a higher level. I think that was the idea behind Eze. I think if you see Odegaard play a longer period of time, for me, I look at this, right? GYOKERES, in theory, given his goal score record over the last 2 years in Sporting, which are, by the way, nuts and historic, superstar player. Eberechi Eze, FA Cup winner, talisman for Crystal Palace. I think now Semenyo's taken that mantle and he's going to give it away because he's going to join a big club. I think he's the best player that does not play in a big 6 club right now, Semenyo. Before that, I thought it was Eze, right? I'm talking about maybe attacking player. I think you can argue guys like Bruno or something like that.
Don't get me started on Bruno Fernandes. Don't get me started.
Or Morgan Rogers, by the way. Morgan Rogers is also up there.
Right, he's fantastic.
For that as well. But I thought before that, though, Eze was the best player that was not at a big.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I think superstar player on the left. You can saw what he already did against Spurs. Odegaard, no matter, he becomes polarizing now because of his recent form. Superstar player. Turn on an Odegaard tape, and it's literally like watching football porn. It's amazing. The spinning, the turning, his technical ability, his eye for a pass, everything. When he's playing
with the freedom.
Yeah, he is a sick player. And they get Bukayo Saka, say no more. For me, I think he's one of the best 2 or 3 right wingers in world football. So that is an elite attack. That's like a basketball lineup, like when you put, the big 3.
Like a USA Olympic team.
Yeah, that is a freaking, and then not to mention the fact that you got Rice and Zubi. If this team is fully fit, that's why I'm coming with so much chess, because I feel like at some point that team's gonna gel, and if that thing gels, I don't even think Man City have the manpower to deal with that. I don't think Man City's best 4 is as talented as that best 4 when all healthy. I mean, of course, you got the great man.
I mean, Haaland brings their level up immensely.
Of course, but I'm talking about all 4 as a combination.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. Shirky, Foden, Doku, and Haaland are cooking right now.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're crap.
Well, obviously not, but yeah.
And by the way, they're cooking right now. that's why I'm a little bit jealous because I'm like, I know what we've got on our team. Like, God, for fuck's sake, guys, get it together. Arteta, can you please just actually fucking play that lineup? Like, if today, by the way, you could totally do it, and if he did it, I will be fucking ready for this game. If he plays that front five today, front six today, we could add Zubi and Rice in there. We should annihilate Everton,
especially if they're going to open up against us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just kind of like the way I think.
Well, here's an interesting point that I haven't really, fleshed out in any of my videos or any of my discussions, but I've just kind of thought about it. Arteta's number one priority, and this is like macro in his football philosophy with Arsenal, his number one priority in this team is to make us a really good pressing side, right? So if you look at what Victor and Eze are having to adapt to as far as our system, Mikel 100% impresses upon them the importance of our team shape as we press against the ball, right? So Odegaard, his biggest importance to this team is he is the point of our press. So our goal in the press every game against anyone is to make the keeper hit it long so we can win a second ball in the midfield and have control once again. That's the goal against the ball, right? And I think that Victor having to do that work is having to work out, he's in positions where he's pressing well, but when we turn the ball over, what are we doing? What are we doing in those moments?
And Curtis
Eze has to figure that out as well, because when you're in the left side, of our press, you have responsibilities as well. You can always see when
that's where Martinelli excels everybody else, by the way.
When you see, if you look at the way we press on the right side, if Odegaard is pressing their left center back, Saka is pulled way back down the field because he is following their left midfielder, their left forward. Their left defender, because a lot of left defenders are moving way up the field when their team has possession, and so Saka is moving way far back. And on the other side, Eze's having to figure out when we turn the ball over how to, from the defensive pressing position to get into attacking positions. And
that's why I think you need to persist with him longer because right now he's learning on the fly. It's like school.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? They're probably talking about it, like as we said, going back on the tapes. I just want to see him do it for longer. Okay, we might concede some goals like we did against Villa, right? Mm-hmm. We might. As long as we're winning games and he's able to affect it going the other direction, which is what we really bought him for, and then he can kind of adapt to that, because he's got a Martinelli. He's, for me, and Hassam has clowned me for saying he was the best defensive left winger in the world, because I think no one understands the off ball responsibilities of a left winger like Gabriel Martinelli. And when people complain, people think that's funny because I use the word best left winger within that sentence, but defensive left winger, because of course I reckon he's about number 25, probably best left winger in the world, right? Like
as far as
I'm talking about in terms of his off the ball ability. Most left wingers in the world are all protected by other players, and they're just being given free roles in the team. Like the best left wing in the world right now for me, probably Vinicius Jr. is protected at Real Madrid, and his off-ball ability is terrible. That's why also when we played them last year, we exposed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, that's a different thing. But as they can learn off my point is, as they can learn off Martinelli, as they can learn off Trossard, as they can learn off Odegaard, Arteta. He's talking Arteta all the time. That's why I just want him to kind of get there, because that way that he just kind of learns that, he perfects that. And as the season gets better, gets further down the line, he's more used to doing those responsibilities. And the Matty Cash goals happen a lot less often. So
that one incensed me, man. Because Calafiore left him too. It wasn't just Eze. Calafiore left him as well.
Yeah. Again, the mispresence of Saliba is ridiculous. I think this is another thing I like about this weekend. I know Ben White, and that was another point I wanted to get to, that Ben White has been injured, but not as bad as first feared, is what Arteta says.
That's good, because that's so sad.
So Arteta's quote on Ben White is, yeah, he's out, but he's evolving well. By the way, this is a new terminology he came up with yesterday. Evolving. Yeah, I know. He's evolving well. It's not a major injury, but it will keep him out for a few games, I think. I don't think it's going to be a major injury. Ben is a really fast healer as well. So there's hope that we're having him back in the next few games. So he's not going to be gone for forever, like everybody was saying.
Right.
It might be few games. We've got freaking 4 games, so he could be back by the end of the year. Then if you're saying few games, if games is your measure of time, that's not long at all. That's a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the Gabriel. By the way, Gabriel is also evolving really well. I
would love to have him back for Villa.
He's misusing some English terminology.
I think he knows what he's doing. I think Arteta messes with the media sometimes.
Yeah, because everybody's catching on. Like, we're talking about the matter of days. Now he's removed matter of days and it's been replaced with evolving.
Evolving, yeah.
Yeah. But the big one, by the way, is Zubimendi has not trained all week. And because there's a lot of management for a few players, that's probably, so one to watch, which is why the question then later on from Harry about Moreno up front boggles my mind, because if Zubi's not available, I'm playing Moreno in midfield. It's not even a conversation.
We know Arteta's doing that for sure, because he just doesn't seem to like Odegaard and Eze in the middle together.
I don't think he seems to trust Norgard as a starter in Premier League matches, which is ridiculous because he was a Premier League captain.
I'm not sure he doesn't. I don't think he's seen the opportunity where we need to do that.
Team sheet come out and Norgard starting.
I just don't think he's seen an opportunity where like we have to do that, you know?
Yeah. But again, Zubimendi could also be playing. He could also be trying to throw Everton off. He does this a lot where it happens, by the way, it happens a lot in the NFL where a player will not train all week because they're just trying to make sure he's fit for the game. Like my team, the Eagles. You must be a Panthers fan, right, or something?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So my team, the world champions, we will not play. We will not have any of our offensive linemen in practice all week. Jordan Mailata will never train.
Really?
Lane Johnson will never practice. Yeah. I've watched.
Sure.
They keep him out. Saquon Barkley during the run to the Super Bowl didn't practice because they wanted to protect him, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes because I've criticized, like, I don't understand why Zubimendi played 90 minutes against Bruges, right? But like, I thought he should have taken him up when we were 3-0 up. But I feel like Arteta is resting him in other ways, which is, I'm just gonna give you the whole week off training breath, my friend.
Yeah.
So I think other ways. I think there are some players who don't necessarily need a full training session. They can just come up. Zubimendi is just one of those just instinctual talents. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the defense. That's what I was going to point with my Ben White thing. By the way, Kai Havertz. One last thing in the injury thing, and then I think we're wrap up because we're an hour 45. But yeah, Kai Havertz. He was asked about Kai Havertz, and he says he's not far away. He's actually earmarked a secret game that he'll be back. But very, very confusing because Hand of Arsenal, who, by the way, I believe above most, he came in here into this chat box right here where you guys are all chatting, and told us that Kai Havertz will be back soon. And then there were guys, I saw AFTV make a post, there's been another setback. He probably won't be back till mid-January. And now Arteta going, he's not far off. I've circled a mysterious date for a game that I've already agreed that he will be playing in that one.
Palace, we'll see him.
Yeah, maybe. Again, by the way, that would be a good place to bet him in, I think, in that rather than in the Premier League. But anyway, back to my point on the defense, which is where I was getting through all this, which is one of the reasons why I'm confident today. So we've had the whole week, so I think everybody's going to be a lot more healthy. By the way, not only everyone has had the whole week off in the starters. So has the bench had the whole week off. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
But you're going to have Cal Fury, who's back from suspension. So I think that's going to, in Capier, Cal Fury, Timber, hopefully.
That's what I think.
What did that back four achieve a few weeks ago? 4-1 against Tottenham, 3-1 against Bayern.
Against Bayern, yeah.
Our struggles happened later after Saliba got hurt in the warm up prior to Chelsea, and we're like, what the fuck is this lineup? That's when things started looking bad. And we got Tyrell in the building, my man Tyrell.
Hey, what's up, Tyrell?
He goes, smash the likes and subscribe, people. Show the love and support. Tyrell, I would love, by the way, to get in contact with you somehow, because I would love to have you a guest on this show, because you are actually here supporting this channel all the time. I've seen your own content. Good stuff, man. Go and like and subscribe to his stuff too. He's actually got 2 channels. He came on his second channel in the chat box the other day. So
nice.
If we can make that happen, because we've been doing these shows, we've been adding the extra panelists like Jake here. Tyrell, if you can reach out to me, my brother, I will get you. I'll try to find you. I'll make double the effort. I'm not going to sit back like not making any effort. I'll try to find you, my friends, as well. So would love to get that going. Back to Curtis. Curtis made a lot of comments, and I have to pay him back the respect of contributing to my live chat. We're after 4 trophies this year. If he's not firing, he's got to sit. You read that one. That's why it's taken him and Isak ages bet in. No preseason. Okay, we read this one. Let's hope it's Deck as a Odegaard in the midfield against their depleted side. Haven't seen. The thing is, it's not going to happen because we're away from home. So I kind of live in the realms of reality with Mikel Arteta. It's just not happening. Even Wolves at home, he went with Mendy and Rice.
Yeah, Arteta never does what I think or want him to do. So you have to put it in a lens of what
I love the idea. I love the idea in theory, but away from home against Everton, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Football porn, I do agree. Yeah, I know. Curtis, take Holland out and they finish 4th.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
The thing is, for me, my thing is right now, I just feel like there's a gap between the two of us and everybody else. I think Liverpool and Chelsea and Man United, for example, and let's put Tottenham in there, and let's say Villa, just because they've had consistent form. Because you're taking Haaland out, you're putting Marmoush in. Maybe if you're taking Haaland out while Marmoush is in an AFCON, maybe. But I think if Marmoush is in that 11 with that supply, I still think he probably gets about
he'll get goals
15 to 20. So I don't know if they would finish 4th, and Pep is still the manager. That's why he doesn't like exactly. Yeah, the defensive part of the game.
Defensive.
But again, why he doesn't like Eze, we don't know if he does. A lot of people like to talk for Arteta. I just think that he's got a bigger long-term plan. He's trying to get there. And unfortunately, we've had so many damn injuries this year. He was hoping by this time he's been there, and it's kind of that process I feel like has been delayed a little bit. That's just my feeling on that. I love Timber, but we miss Ben's overlapping into lap. I agree. I thought when Ben was starting, you could see that impact. But again, Timber has been the best right back in the league, and I think he's also been getting a lot better at this specific ability himself. My only issue with both of the guys is why they're both overlapping Victor GYOKERES on balls that are meant for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's let our striker be the guy on the end instead of our right back.
Yeah. You definitely agree, though. No guard play a lot more and not a center back. Yeah. I think he'll play against Palace.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't go too weak. Like now having seen Newcastle and Chelsea and Man City go through, it's
Palace aren't going weak.
Yeah.
They're coming full strength.
I'll tell you who's playing in that game, number 10. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he goes, I know you don't rate him, but Kai is gonna have a big role to play in
I
us
agree.
collecting. No. Okay, I think
Been
I think that
misrepresented
Kai
here.
is. I think I've been misrepresentative here. You know what's so funny? You know who had the best take on this was Olivier Giroud this week.
Yeah, I
Like
heard
everybody,
that. Yeah,
everyone was focusing on the Olivier Giroud comment about how the mentality of the club, but they're missing out on the
the
most
rest of what he
balanced
said.
take in terms of what we're talking about with strikers. And he was like, all of them all offer different things to Arsenal. Now, if you're going to make me pick one, it's going to be Victor Gyökeres because, he's the most natural striker of the four. But all the other ones, they all offer you something different. Tactically, against different teams, what one's strengths might suit that the others does not.
Mm-hmm.
So there are games that I think if you see Kai Havertz in 11, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the idea that we're going to bury Gyökeres on the bench behind all three of those guys who all of a sudden are now the answer. That's when it starts
That's
to frustrate
wild.
me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, obviously you cannot be playing Victor Gyökeres in 90 minutes of every single game. He's going to burn out. I felt like we already had that, like earlier on, but he got injured the Burnley one. So yeah. Anyway, we are almost to the hour mark. Well, it's been a great chat. I believe Chelsea and Newcastle are kicking off in 15 minutes from now.
Oh, wow.
So I know that I will lose my audience if I go any longer than this. But it's been amazing having Jake back. Jake here. Jake reached out to me via email. Take the example of Jake, showed the ambition. I'm like, I'm not wasting no time. My next show, Jake, I'm putting you right on.
Well, I appreciate
and it's been a very fun. I wish Cal was on here longer, and he would have been had he been at his own place. He's just home for Christmas. So, and as you heard him, he's in his sister's bedroom. So, oh wait, I think he said that backstage.
Well, he's not anymore because his sister came home and he had to go and he had to leave. He had to vacate the area. So yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to deal with Calvin. Like, you aired my dirty laundry on the air. No, no, we're not like that. Anyway, yeah. So let's hear it from you. I want to actually answer me one last question and then give me a score prediction. But
Sure.
the question is not necessarily like who you think is going to win or anything like that. What do you want to see today from the performance of the guys that will kind of reignite, having me back on the terrace in a few days with massive chests, with the unbearable confidence that drives people nuts. What do you think that's going to take for us to be able to bring that chest back and relieve the anxiety? What do you want to see from Arsenal different? That's going to kind of, that city are kind of like circling and everybody's kind of nervous, like, oh, no. What do you want to see different today? If you see that today against Everton, that will make you reignite that confidence.
2 words. Firstly, urgency. Urgency to win the game. Urgency to, to press, to, take the risks, to make the, those passes that are riskier, that are going to unlock and open up the defense. I think if we do that, Gyökeres will score. And that's another part of what I want to see as well as Gyökeres on the score sheet. But secondly, awareness. The awareness that, this is going to be a tough thing. And we're going to have to be at the level always, every game to win this league. So an awareness that, we can win it, but we have to be at the level to win it. So urgency and awareness.
Oh, I love, amazing. Curse has chipped in, by the way, Tyrell, because his second channel is Only Gunners TV, is his second channel. His first channel is Tyrell Gunners TV. Go subscribe to both. Yeah. I love giving love and support to all of the Gunners. I love, by the way, meeting Jake and having him, like, his footballing insight is fucking awesome. I love talking to him. I've really enjoyed it. Love having Cal, all the Gunners, Seb we had last week. Like, everyone kind of brings their own take, their own way, their own sort of personality to it. So I'm loving it. I think it's, as I said, I think it's the new wave, YouTube. And yeah, I think it's the best way, I think, to interact as fans as well. And maybe make some money if you're lucky. I wonder. Okay, Curtis. He is what creates the gap.
I think he's referring to Holland. I think he's referring to Erling Haaland creating the gap between us.
Yeah. Big ups to you, Curtis. He says, "Good show."
Thanks for being here, Curtis.
Subscribed. I love that.
Thanks for being here, man.
Curtis. Curtis goes, an emphatic ass whipping. That's what he will.
I would like that as well.
I would like that too. But as you say in your very next comment, you're expecting a 2-0. Yeah,
that would be my prediction as well.
That's my prediction as well. I literally said that. I'm like, I just feel it's going to be a 2-0.
Yep.
Because when we go away from home, I don't think I see, especially Goodison, where it's always been tight. Not Goodison. Now I've done it. My God.
Well, that's a new thing. That's a whole nother aspect to the game. How is being in a new venue going to...
bigger pitch, by the way. That Goodison pitch. And by the way, you have all the restricting viewing as well. It doesn't affect the game, but it's a totally different stadium. Like, it's one of the oldest, ugliest grounds, Goodison Park. Mikel knows Moyes will park the will.
I agree with that too.
I agree.
It won't happen. It won't happen, but I agree.
I agree, Curtis. Good tactical analysis, but Arteta sees the game in a different way. He has a football. What word I'm trying to find here?
It's an obsession with control.
Yeah. I was going to find a more fancy word. I was going to the back of the dictionary, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, basically that. Yeah, he's got an obsession with control. He does. And Cal asked a really good question, which is like, why does Zubimendi and Rice start against bottom of the table Wolves, the worst defense in the Premier League, or the worst attack in the Premier League? They only have 8 goals all season. The 8th one is the one we scored. Like, the only team with single-digit goals all season. And by the way, that was match number 16, so that's half a goal a game, right? And why do we need 2 DMs?
Control.
It's, as you said, it's just an obsession with control, regardless of who it is. That's just kind of the way it is. Anyway, guys, that has been our show today. Jake, you say 2-0?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. If we do those things, urgency and awareness, at least 2-0. Yeah.
And I've got 2-0, guys. All right. It's 11:19. It's 10 minutes before, for me. For you, I believe it's what, 7:19?
It's 7:19, yep.
Yeah, okay, early in the morning. But regardless, wherever you are in the world, Chelsea and Newcastle's coverage starts on TV in exactly less than 60 seconds. So we'll be off here now, guys. Enjoy. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you guys later. By the way, one more conversation. Fans not on top of us like Goodison 2. My only worry is Mikel paying one of his mentors too much respect. Yeah, he's done that too much. Up the Geordies.
Up the Geordies.
Yes. Of course, as much as Ash and Kane are going to be absolutely unbearable on the terrace if they were to win, I'll take it, because the Chelsea fans are even more unbearable.
Even worse.
Anyway, until next time, guys, we're out. All right, Jake.